Welcome to Bravo and Brava and episode number 5, the Italian Americans in Hollywood podcast. I'm Daily Jacopella, and beside me is my co-host, Sadie Bruni.
Hi, everyone.
Today we're going to be talking about the life and career of Lou Costello. He's one of America's most beloved comedians.
He really is a true icon.
And
you can't talk about Costello without acknowledging his Italian heritage.
yeah,
Born Louis Francis Cristillo in Paterson, New Jersey, his roots run deep. His father was from Calabria,
wow.
and his mother had Italian, French, and Irish ancestry.
It's so interesting, isn't it, how someone's background can really shape their comedic sensibilities. Paterson was a real melting pot back then, a vibrant Italian-American community. I can only imagine the stories and the food and the energy.
It makes you wonder how those early experiences really plant the seeds for comedic genius.
Yeah,
And that's what we see with Costello.
totally.
Growing up surrounded by such a mix of cultures definitely broadened his perspective.
Okay, so let's talk about his path to comedy. Because believe it or not, Costello wasn't always in the spotlight. He had quite a diverse resume before hitting it big.
That's right. His journey is anything but straightforward.
Yeah.
Before Hollywood came calling, he worked as a carpenter at MGM and Warner Bros. Studios.
Yeah.
Can you picture Lou Costello hammering away on sets?
I can't even picture that. He was also a boxer, right?
That's right.
Under the name Lou King.
Yeah.
And he even did stunts. What a range. It seems like he was always willing to try new things.
He was a man of many talents, that's
Yeah.
for sure. But that comedic spark was always there, simmering beneath the surface. And it was his admiration for Charlie Chaplin, the silent film legend,
Oh, yeah?
that really pushed him towards acting. In 1927, he hitchhiked all the way to Hollywood to chase his dream. Talk about dedication.
Wow, hitchhiking to Hollywood. You've got to be pretty passionate to do that. That says a lot about his drive to make people laugh.
Absolutely.
But things weren't easy for him at first, were they?
No, like so many in Hollywood. He faced rejection and setbacks,
Right.
but he didn't give up. He took to the vaudeville stage where he really honed his craft. Vaudeville was like a comedic boot camp, forcing performers to win over a live audience every single night.
I bet. And that experience really shaped him into the powerhouse performer he became. It's where he developed that impeccable comedic timing and the physical humor that would become his trademarks.
Absolutely. But before we delve further into his career, I think it's important to touch upon his personal life,
Okay.
specifically his family.
Because behind the laughter, there's often a story of love and loss. And in Costello's case, it's truly heartbreaking.
It is. In 1934, he married Anne Battler, and their love story is beautiful. They had 4 children together, Carol, Chris, Patty, and Lou Costello Jr.
Wow.
But tragedy struck the family when their youngest, Lou Jr., drowned just days before his first birthday.
Oh my gosh, that's just unimaginable. It must have been absolutely devastating for both Lou and Anne. To lose a child so young.
It was a profound loss, one that deeply impacted Costello. Sources say that this tragedy added a layer of poignancy to his performances. That vulnerability he projected, that ability to connect with audiences on an emotional level, might have been shaped in part by that unimaginable loss.
It's so sad, but it makes you see a comedy in a whole new light. And Anne, what a strong woman she must have been, standing by him through the highs and lows of Hollywood, providing stability in a world that's often anything but stable. It speaks volumes about their love and commitment.
Absolutely. Their bond was unbreakable.
Yeah.
She was his rock, his anchor.
If you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe. Now let's talk about his rise to stardom. From vaudeville stages to the silver screen,
Yeah,
Costello was clearly destined for greatness.
it seems so. His film debut came in 1940 with One Night in the Tropics. It wasn't a leading role, but it was a foot in the door. A chance to shine. And shine he did. He caught the attention of Universal Pictures, and they signed him to a contract.
And then came the game changer. The film that launched him and his partner Bud Abbott into comedic superstardom.
Buck Privates in 1941.
Wow.
Can you believe how massively that film took off?
I can't.
Everyone was talking about Abbott and Costello. It solidified their place as a leading comedic force and introduced the world to their unparalleled chemistry. It was the beginning of a beautiful partnership, a partnership that led to some of the most iconic comedy routines of all time. Who doesn't know who's on first?
It's so timeless. It's like, why does that bit still work after all these years? What makes it so funny?
Well, it's a masterpiece of wordplay and misunderstandings. Abbott sets Costello up with these simple questions about a baseball team.
Right.
But the players' names all sound like regular words.
Right.
Who's on first? What's on second?
Yeah.
It creates this hilarious spiral of confusion.
So clever. And the way they build on the frustration, the rising exasperation, you can't help but laugh. Costello's reactions are just brilliant. Those wide eyes, that look of utter bewilderment.
Oh,
It's physical comedy at its finest.
absolutely. He was a master of slapstick. That's another layer to his comedic brilliance. The way he could contort his face, those perfectly timed pratfalls.
Do you have a favorite physical comedy bit of his?
Oh, so many come to mind, but there's this one scene in Hold That Ghost where he's terrified of a suit of armor. He's tiptoeing around it, eyes wide with terror, and then he ends up crashing into it, sending himself in the armor tumbling down a flight of stairs.
Cool. I can picture it now. You're right. He really knew how to use his body to get a laugh.
Yeah.
He wasn't afraid to be silly, to be the butt of the joke. And that's what made him so endearing.
And let's not forget his interactions with Bud Abbott. Their chemistry was truly something special.
They were like a perfectly matched comedic duo. Abbott, the straight man, setting up the jokes with that dry wit, and Costello, the lovable goofball, delivering the punchlines with impeccable timing.
They understood each other's comedic rhythms so well. Their back and forth banter, those rapid-fire exchanges, they were like a well-oiled machine.
Their films are a testament to that enduring partnership. They made over 30 movies together, bringing laughter to millions during the golden age of Hollywood.
From Buck Privates to Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, they tackled every genre, musicals, westerns, even horror. And they always found a way to inject their unique brand of humor into it.
And their films weren't just funny. They were also full of heart. There was a warmth and innocence to their comedy that resonated with audiences.
They tapped into something universal, a desire for simple, good-natured fun.
Yeah.
And in a world that was often filled with turmoil and uncertainty, their films offered a much-needed escape. A reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's always room for laughter.
And that's a powerful legacy to leave behind.
Yeah.
So how would you say Lou Costello's comedic style influenced later generations of comedians?
His influence is undeniable. I mean, you can see traces of his physical comedy, his wordplay, and his ability to connect with audiences on an emotional level in so many contemporary comedians.
It's like he laid the groundwork for a certain type of comedy. A comedy that's both hilarious and heartwarming.
And his legacy extends beyond individual comedians. I think he helped shape our understanding of what comedy can be, its power to unite us, to lift our spirits, and to remind us of the absurdity of life.
He showed us that it's okay to be silly, to embrace the unexpected, and to find joy even in the most challenging of circumstances.
Absolutely. A message that is as relevant today as it was during his lifetime.
Right.
Lou Costello's contributions to the world of comedy are immeasurable. He left behind a treasure trove of laughter, a legacy that continues to inspire and entertain.
He certainly did. Now, before we move on, I want to remind our listeners that we love hearing from you. So please leave us a comment and let us know what you think about today's show. What are some of your favorite Lou Costello moments?
We're always eager to hear your thoughts and insights.
All right, so we've talked about his comedic genius, his partnership with Abbott, and his enduring legacy. But there's another aspect of his life that deserves to be highlighted, and that's his incredible generosity. His incredible generosity. He was a founding member of the USO, and during World War II,
Oh, wow.
he tirelessly entertained troops, bringing laughter and a touch of home to those serving overseas.
It's incredible to think about the emotional toll of war and how a comedian like Costello could offer even a brief respite from that. It really speaks to the power of laughter, especially during times of hardship.
I read that he even performed while battling a serious illness, pushing through pain and fatigue just to bring joy to the soldiers. That level of dedication is truly remarkable. It shows the depth of his character.
He wasn't just seeking fame and fortune. There was a deep-seated generosity in his heart, a desire to use his talents to lift the spirits of others.
Adds a whole other dimension to his legacy. He was more than just a comedian. He was a compassionate human being who genuinely cared about making a positive impact on the world.
He really was.
His story reminds us that laughter can be incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
It can connect us, heal us, and offer hope in the face of adversity.
It can.
So as we wrap up this episode, what are your final thoughts on Lou Costello? What do you think made him such an enduring figure in comedy?
Well, I think it boils down to his authenticity.
Yeah.
He wasn't afraid to be himself, flaws and all. He embraced his vulnerability, his goofiness, his childlike wonder, and that resonated with audiences.
He was relatable,
Yeah.
genuine, and had a heart of gold. He didn't put on airs or try to be someone he wasn't.
Right.
He was just Lou, the funny, lovable guy next door who could make you laugh until your sides hurt.
And those qualities, combined with his comedic genius, his impeccable timing, and his gift for physical comedy, made him a true icon.
An icon whose legacy continues to inspire and entertain generations of fans.
Absolutely.
Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to Bravo and Brava and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of our daily podcasts on Italian Americans in Hollywood. Ciao.